Hey, do you ever wonder why some people suddenly seem to become so open about their sexual fantasies after marriage? You know, they go from being somewhat reserved to exploring all sorts of things with their partner. It almost feels like there's a switch that gets flipped once the wedding vows are exchanged. But is that really what's happening? Or is there more to it than meets the eye? I am Dr. Ruby Quinn, a relationship and sex therapist, educating for fusion of your missing chunks of an intimate relationship. Here's a story I hear from a lot of couples. Take Emily and Ryan. They had been dating for a while and everything seemed pretty normal, right? But once they got married, Emily started bringing up things in bed that she had never mentioned before. Fantasies she'd kept to herself for years. Ryan, on the other hand, was a bit shocked. He didn't know whether to be excited or confused. So why did these fantasies suddenly surface after marriage? Well, here's the thing. For many couples, marriage acts like this safe zone where they finally feel like they can explore all the things they were too shy or embarrassed to talk about before. They have this sense of trust, and that trust makes them feel free to express themselves in ways they couldn't when they were just dating. But this doesn't always happen smoothly, does it? Now imagine this. You've been with your partner for years, and suddenly, after marriage, you want to act out a fantasy. Something you've never discussed before. And maybe your partner isn't ready for that kind of conversation yet. They might feel shocked, confused, or even uncomfortable. This is where communication becomes crucial. Let's talk about Sarah and James. They've been married for about 6 months. One night, after a few drinks, Sarah casually brings up a fantasy involving role-play. James, however, feels a bit off-put by it. He hasn't had time to process such ideas, and he's unsure if he's okay with it. Now imagine the tension that builds up in a moment like this. One person is excited to explore, but the other isn't quite on the same page. James didn't know how to react, and Sarah felt rejected. They both wanted to connect, but their lack of communication about their desires created a gap. And that gap can turn into frustration or even resentment. But here's the thing, this kind of situation isn't rare. It happens all the time, and it's not about the fantasy being bad. It's about the timing and, more importantly, the conversation that needs to happen before you dive into something new. So, what can you do to avoid this? First off, if you're thinking about sharing a fantasy with your partner, create the space to talk openly before jumping into it. Here's a simple guide. First, check your partner's comfort zone. Are they ready for this conversation? Second, make sure it's a two-way discussion. Let them share their thoughts too. Third, respect boundaries. Just because you want to explore something doesn't mean they're on the same page. Let's take Lily and Jack. They've been married for a year, and they've always been really good at talking about their needs. One evening, Lily brings up her interest in trying something new in the bedroom, like BDSM or light spanking. This time, they talk about it first. Not just about the act, but about how each of them feels about it. Jack is a little hesitant, but agrees to give it a try because they both respect each other's desires. And guess what? It works out great because they communicated clearly. Now, that's how you keep things healthy and exciting in a relationship, through open conversation. Fantasies, especially after marriage, often come from a place of trust. And trust is one of the most important ingredients for making those fantasies something positive in your relationship. But here's a harsh truth. Sometimes pornography or early childhood experiences can distort our view of what's normal. Imagine this. You've watched something on TV or the internet, and now you think that's how things should play out in your real-life relationship. It's not just about fantasies anymore, it's about expectations. And when those expectations clash with reality, it can hurt your relationship. Trust me, I've heard stories from my clients where these unrealistic fantasies caused real emotional pain. Let's talk about Megan and David. David was really into some fantasies he had seen in adult films, like group sex or public exhibitionism, but he didn't talk about it with Megan beforehand. When he tried to act out these fantasies, Megan felt uncomfortable, almost like she was part of something she didn't understand. The relationship hit a rough patch because there was no discussion, just assumptions about what should happen. The key takeaway here is simple. Fantasies are only healthy when both partners are comfortable. And the only way to ensure that is by having open, honest conversations. It's okay to have fantasies. We all have them. But it's how you share and act on them that matters. So let's wrap this up. If you feel your fantasies are growing stronger after marriage, don't panic. You're not alone. Marriage provides a safe space to explore desires, and that can be a great thing, as long as both of you are on the same page. Communication is everything. Share your feelings, set boundaries, and respect each other's comfort zones. When done right, exploring fantasies can bring you closer to your partner, not push you apart. I hope this video helped you understand why some fantasies come alive after marriage and how to explore them together in a healthy, respectful way. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content on relationships and communication. Let's keep the conversation going. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.